Hi, I'm Maddie and welcome to my channel. Today I will be showing you my top 20 affordable fragrances. Most of them will be male fragrances, men fragrances, but I do have a selection of women's that I'll put here when it starts so that you can check those out if you are interested. Before I do proceed, I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel and also to pass by my social media pages, and also letting you know that some of these fragrances are clones to higher end, more expensive perfumes, and some of them are fragrances that are famous and that are kind of legitimate on their own. The first one I want to share with you is Nautica Voyage. This is a perfume that I also spoke about in my top perfumes for the gym that I'll leave somewhere up above. And yes, I think it is a perfect perfume for the gym, for after the shower, for every day, for casual things, not so much for special occasions or anything like that. It is very, very affordable, and by the way, all the perfumes that I'll be sharing with you are less than $40, at least in the US. But this one here in the US you can easily get for like $15, $20. So you do get what you pay for, and I will say that despite the price, it is still very nice. It is a fruity, slightly green perfume. The longevity is not really there. It's not a huge, it's not something that projects very long. But I will say it actually does last pretty long in clothing and stuff like that. I used to know somebody who wore this perfume, and I could always recognize him. I could always recognize it on him. So I do really suggest that you check it out if you want something that is very easy and soft. Alright, so next I have Franck Olivier Passion for Men. This one is actually one of my personal favorites out of these cheapies, these affordable perfumes. And it is supposed to be very similar, if not a clone, for Paco Rabanne's original 1 million. They do share a lot of warm, spicy sort of notes like the cinnamon, the vanilla, and I do have them both here. They do smell honestly almost identical. At the start, 1 million is a little bit stronger, but there's really hardly a difference. So for the huge difference in price, even though 1 million you can find in relatively affordable prices nowadays because it is a little bit older, but for a much more affordable price you can buy this one, and I'm sure 1 million will probably last a little bit longer, project a little bit better because it is a little bit more of a made up with quality ingredients. But other than that, I still think that this is worth a look at. I love it a lot. I can see myself actually wearing something like this because I am a huge fan of cinnamon notes. So definitely take a look at Franck Olivier's Passion for Men. So this video of course would not be complete for clones or similar fragrances to pretty much the most famous DNA ever for men's fragrances, especially right now, which is Creed Aventus. I understand this is a pretty pricey perfume, and a lot of people like to opt for more affordable versions like Zara Vibrant Leather, which I have not tried yet, but I have tried Club de Nuit, which I wasn't really a fan of. I thought it was way too overwhelming and just piercing at the start. The citrus was just way too piercing and way too strong, and I think the original is a lot more subtle than that. But I do actually prefer this clone, to call it that, L'Aventure from Haramain. I think this one does a pretty good job, and it is missing the pineapple note though, I will say. And then this one is a lot more affordable, probably the more affordable Creed Aventus version that you can find or clone. And it is Insurrection II. This one does have the pineapple note, and a lot of people really do like this one, so I do say check it out. But yeah, so now this is probably my favorite clone at the moment. But as I've said in other videos, I do feel like a lot of times clones miss out because they take a certain part of the perfume they're trying to replicate and just exploit that aspect, and then the perfume becomes that aspect that they're exploiting instead of the combination of notes that make the other one so great. But if you are looking for cheap alternatives to Aventus, then these are definitely good buys. These two are probably some of the cheapest and most affordable perfumes that I'll be sharing today. One of them is Dynamic Pulse from Adidas, and the other one is Tribute for Men, which I believe, it doesn't really say, but I believe this is from Mary Kay when they used to release like men's cologne. This one is a cologne, this one's a classic eau de toilette. And again, these are just very basic perfumes for colognes for after a shower, for just everyday things when you don't really want to spend maybe your more expensive, more quality fragrances, but you still want to smell clean and nice. So they're great for the gym or for just everyday things like that if you are someone who likes to kind of keep your other fragrances for more special occasions. The next one I have here is from Armaf. Armaf is a great house for you when you want more affordable alternatives for high-end perfumes. And this one is called Derby Clubhouse Gold. This is the gold one. This one's supposed to be a dupe or a clone, however you prefer to call it, for Mont Blanc Legend, I believe. I have not smelled that one. I've only smelled the new Star Walker, but the notes for this one, I do know it has some apple, not green apple, just the classic kind, and some pineapple, and it is supposed to be really sweet and fruity, and I'm definitely getting that. I'm definitely even getting some sort of like 1 million lucky DNA in there. I think it's the overall fruitiness, or I don't know if it's CH for men, but I'm definitely getting one of those fruity, kind of typical men's fragrances DNA. So yeah, Armaf overall has pretty good quality for the prices. I think it's actually the cheapest house with like one of the best qualities out there. So if you do like that Mont Blanc fragrance that I was saying and you think it's a little bit out of your budget for the moment, or you just don't want to spend all that for yet another perfume, then definitely go check out Derby Clubhouse Gold, which I want to say next to the Franck Olivier is one of my favorites out of this whole list. So these other three that I want to bring up, one of them is Esika Magnat from Magnat, which is not really a house that I have heard about a lot or at all really. And it is very sort of cooling, very aromatic and sort of herbal, even slightly green. I don't know, I think it's just, to me it's very cold, if that makes any sense. So at the same time, even though it's cold, I don't know if I would recommend it for like warmer weather. I think maybe for the in-between months it would be pretty nice. And I think this one is in the higher end of the affordable perfumes that I'm showing you today. Then I have these two Cool Contact from Westlife Eau de Toilette. And I have to say, kind of like the one I just showed you, that one's a little bit colder, but this one's like one of the coolest fragrances that I could show you. It's just very cool. I mean, it is called Cool Contact after all. And then one of my absolute favorites overall is Swiss Army Classic from Victorinox. This is very citrusy and fresh, but it is fresh spicy, so the mint note here is amazing. I think it lasts pretty long and it projects really well, and just overall people love this perfume. I think it is a really nice quality, affordable fragrance. This other one I have here is a Samy Andraus fragrance that I actually like to suggest a lot for the male public, and it is Blue Sapphire. It has the notes in the back, which is super convenient. And it has some bergamot, some lemon, some cedar, blackcurrant, etc. So it is pretty citrusy at the start, but it does become a little bit spicier as it goes down. And because it is an extrait de parfum, it is a lot longer lasting than any of these other fragrances that I'm suggesting right now. So the last three affordable perfumes for men that I want to recommend are actually from Calvin Klein. And I want to first shout out Calvin Klein or CK1 because I used to wear that perfume all the time. It is honestly a great perfume for such a great price. My favorite by far from CK. And first I want to talk about CK Free. This one is pretty interesting. It's not really one of my favorites because it's not long lasting at all. So because it is affordable, if you do enjoy the scent, you can always just take it with you and reapply. And it is interesting because they definitely try to stray away from the classic, you know, fresh scent out of the shower that I just shared with you for more affordable perfumes. And with this one, they did try to be a little bit more aromatic. So they added some tobacco and some coffee. So that is a pretty interesting choice, I would say, but it's still so subtle and so light that you barely pick up any of those notes. It is just a pretty well blended aromatic fragrance. So now these other two Calvin Klein ones that I have, one of them is Eternity for Men Aqua, and the other one is just the classic Eternity for Men. The classic Eternity for Men is an aromatic fougere. It has lavender, I think probably geranium. All those notes are usually found in fougères, and as most fougères, I wouldn't really suggest it for younger men. I don't think this is a perfume that, you know, will suit many younger men, unlike all the other ones that I have shown that are probably better off for the younger audience. So if you are someone who's a little bit older and wants a more classic everyday perfume that is affordable, Eternity from Men is definitely for you. This is pretty classy, pretty classic also, and again just very aromatic, which is nice. Then with Eternity Aqua, they did something completely different. They added some cucumber, and this is extremely aquatic, and I feel like they try to sort of mimic Polo Blue from Ralph Lauren. So I don't know whether they're both called Eternity because they do smell pretty different to me. I do prefer the Aqua version because I feel like the original is slightly outdated by now. Okay, so now with the women's fragrances, so bear with me, it is midnight. I feel like I always end up making videos either at noon or midnight. There is no in between. My first one and my favorite women's affordable perfume, or one of my favorites at least for sure, is L'Imperatrice from Dolce and Gabbana. This is an extraordinary fruity cocktail. It is famous for the rhubarb, for the watermelon, for the kiwi. And as you can see, I do wear it all the time. I wear it to the gym. I wear it for just everyday things. For the summer, it is amazing. It is super affordable. It's like, I mean, it's $80 at Sephora, but that's a ridiculous price, especially because it doesn't last very long at all. So in, you know, online and stuff, you can get it for like $30 or so. I got this one for like $33, and again, it's just perfect for everyday casual use, and this is probably one of my most complimented perfumes, despite, you know, its price and despite its simplicity. And it's also pretty aquatic, the L'Imperatrice from Dolce & Gabbana. This other one that I have here is Green Tea from Elizabeth Arden. This is a perfume that, yes, it's called green tea, and yes, it has tea, but it's not a very noticeable tea at all. In fact, I prefer many other perfumes with tea, like Déclaration from Cartier or Altevec from Bugatti. That one is by far my favorite. This one, more than anything, it is very citrusy, extremely inoffensive, easily unisex also. And it is one that I was once reading for Nautica or something, and I think someone mentioned that their pastor's wives, like at their church or something, their wife of the pastor wore this fragrance or something, and I can totally see that. This is very clean, again, very inoffensive, and very calming. So for that reason, if you want something calming and just, you know, nice, that's the best word that I can use to describe it, then I totally do recommend green tea. Okay, so of course I had to mention Light Blue from Dolce & Gabbana here. You guys know this is my absolute favorite. I recommend this one just like I recommend the original, but I do prefer this one a little more. Though I do think you may be able to find the original at a cheaper price because it is older. So this perfume, we all know it has lots of citrus, lots of jasmine. It is very, very clean. Again, I strive for those ultra clean perfumes. But out of all these, it's probably the sexiest somehow because it is a citrusy perfume. And I promise you, if you wear any of the light blues, you will get tons, I mean tons of compliments. In this one, the Intense in particular, I also think that it is super unisex. Okay, so I do have here two white florals that are extremely affordable, and that they're very, I don't personally wear them, but I do really appreciate them because these two are classic timeless perfumes. This is Anais from Cacharel, and this is Beauty from Calvin Klein. Again, just timeless classic white florals. Beauty is a little bit more simple. It is just kind of like a jasmine bomb, and then Anais is a lot more complex, has plenty, trust me, of floral notes. You know, it's particularly notorious for the lily of the valley and the lilac, but it also has iris, jasmine, even citrusy notes. I mean, you name it. Both of these are very innocent. Beauty honestly really smells like the word beauty itself. Like, it is just such a beautiful white floral. And again, I'm not particularly a fan of white florals, but I can see this smelling stunning on some girls that are very innocent and just very feminine. And then Anais is one that if I had like a young girl in my family, like a niece or something, I would really love for her to wear this because this is just the most innocent, prettiest perfume, especially for like a younger girl. Okay, and so we come to the end of this selection. And I'm going to show you teas from Victoria's Secret, though honestly most Victoria's Secret perfumes are pretty affordable. I think only Bombshell retails for a higher price because it is the more popular one. But teas is super affordable and I used to wear it all the time. Then I have Viva La Juicy from Juicy Couture. These two, teas and Viva La Juicy, they are literally dupes. I have worn them on my arm and could really not distinguish them. Viva La Juicy does have berries, and then teas have pear, but they both have caramel and just plenty of notes that make them almost identical. They're not really long lasting, but for the price, I think they are pretty sexy and pretty sweet. And honestly, I used to get tons of compliments with teas. Maybe I thought it wasn't as long lasting or that people couldn't smell it on me as much. But when I used to smell this all the time, I used to get plenty of compliments with it, and especially people would tell me that it was very clean smelling. Then the other one that I have here is Lifebeat from Kensie. This is again very sweet and fruity, also pretty youthful like these that I'm sharing with you here. And this one has some coconut in there and also plenty of sugar. So if you are yourself looking for more affordable everyday perfumes that are pretty flirty and will get you lots of compliments, then these for sure. Or if you're simply looking for a gift that you can give to someone that is not super expensive, then I also recommend these. Okay, so that was all for my top 20 affordable perfumes. Please let me know down below which are your top affordable perfumes, if you even enjoy wearing some of them, and what affordable means to you, because of course the meaning for that can range from can vary from person to person. Also make sure to let me know that you enjoy this video by commenting, by giving me your thumbs up, and hopefully I'll see you on my Instagram and Facebook pages.